comes the time. The whole wide world will welcome the rising sun. Here comes the time for everyone to see that what will be, will be. This is the time for you and I to stand together as one. Yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. We spent our lives in pain and misery. Never gonna trade our freedom with any mystery. It's affecting our soul and it's killing us slow. With what we've been through, we are far from being good. But we are blessed by Chukwuka Biafra. So we're never gonna give up. We're never gonna give up. There'll be light in the wind of a tunnel. It will shine so bright all time. The whole wide world will embrace us. Nobody can stop us, nobody can cage us, nobody can stand us, yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are. Because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. The windows and curtains, green lights be revealing. When I think about how blessed we are, goosebumps all over my body. Sunrise to the black stripe, black strands crossing gray stripes. Clashes upon clashes, many lives turn to ashes. When I ponder and reminisce, the actions I see malice. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag, all around the world. We go carry the cross together. We walk through to Zion. We stumble, we rise. How the victory will start. They will know, they will know. From east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? I see wave your flag all over the world. Because the sun is rising. I see we shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. They will know, they will know. The light shine, the sun is rising. Oh, wave your flag anywhere you are. Yeah. The light shine, the sun is rising. Oh.
Hello, Biafrans all over the world. Good evening and welcome to this evening's program once again. I want to say welcome to countdown, 30th May countdown for the remembrance of our heroes and heroines who put their life on the line to defend our homeland. And it is my pleasure to have you. I want to say good evening, good morning, and good night wherever you might be, anywhere around the world. This is a BTV Europe exclusive program, and we are counting down to 30th of May 2025 in honor and in remembrance of our fallen heroes. My name is Mazi Ikem Patrick Dike, and in a short period of time, we'll be bringing in our guest who will be joining us in today's episode. And also, like I said yesterday, we'll be talking about a very, very intelligent young man who put his life on the line for Biafran people as a result of the onslaught by the Nigerian state in 1967. And we're going to give you stories. Some of you are quite familiar with this story of this young man who was born in 1947 and took an affirmative action to express his grievances over the onslaught of the Nigerian state against Biafran people. The story of this young man is remarkable, as at the time he took this action, he was 20 years old. So it's important that we understand that there is an inspiration we have to draw at every point in time in our history. And in the shortest possible time, we're going to have the picture of Bruce Mayrock on the screen. I know that many of you are familiar with this picture, because it's important that we look at the face of this young man and the sacrifice that he has made for Biafran people in registering his anger. And I'm going to read out his profile so that many people who are not familiar with the story can get themselves acquainted with the story of Bruce Mayrock. Very, very important. Bruce Mayrock, a 20-year-old Jewish student, he set himself ablaze in front of the United Nations building in New York on the 30th of May, 1969, to protest the Biafran genocide during the Nigerian Civil War. He carried a sign that read, "You must stop genocide. Please save 9 million Biafrans." But despite his desperate act, the UN did not intervene to stop the genocide. I know that we are having difficulty bringing the Bruce Mayrock picture to the screen, but notwithstanding, I will continue to narrate the story because there is an inspiration we have to draw from this young man's act. So these are some of the things that we must learn in course of our struggle for Biafra restoration. And sorry that I keep going off and on, but it is as a result of certain circumstances that I have to deal with right here in the studio. Now, the story of Bruce Mayrock continues, and Bruce Mayrock's self-immolation was a response to international community inaction amidst humanitarian crisis in Biafra, where millions were dying from starvation and violence. The Nigerian government, supported by Britain and Soviet Union, was engaged in brutal conflict with secessionist state of Biafra, leading to widespread human suffering. Mayrock's act of sacrifice drew attention of the plight of the Biafrans, but did not lead to immediate change. Today, his story remains a powerful symbol of desperation and advocacy for human rights. Bruce Mayrock had become a hero for his act of personal affirmation and action. This action that he took, a very bold one, to express his grievances and express his displeasure over the massacre of Biafran people, an action that cannot be forgotten in a hurry and will always be remembered throughout our history as a people. A lot need to be learned from this 20-year-old Jewish student who didn't go about blaming anybody, who didn't go about looking for who to blame, but took action to express himself by immolation, by setting himself ablaze in front of the United Nations uh, building in New York. And what is the essence of this story? The essence of this story is to let our people understand that in the struggle for Biafra restoration, there is no room for blame game. There is no room for blame game. We have seen so many people come out and say, we want action, we want action, we want action. Bruce Mayrock took action on his own without telling anybody to give him order or authorization to take action. He knew what he wanted and he knew how to register his anger. Today we have so many people on social media ranting and making noise, insulting everybody because they feel that things are not going in the direction they feel it should go. They feel that actions are not taken. Bruce Mayrock is a typical example of somebody who felt that he needed to do something about the plight of Biafran people. And he didn't go about consulting with anybody. He went ahead and took this action that had been registered in history. I don't know if my guest is ready. You can join me on the screen, but I wish you could just find a way to um, pause your camera so that we do not see any form of background activities. Uh, because it's important that you remain anonymous, like we've all set the program to be. But I would not want to see anything on the background of my guest. So please, I would encourage you to find a way to mute your camera, please. So back to our story of 20-year-old Bruce Mayrock, who had become a source of inspiration and a source of a lesson for those who feel that there are things they feel they can do on their own without coming online or going about blaming people or blaming anybody or blaming the leadership of things that the leadership have not been able to do or what the leadership is not doing right according to. Bruce Mayrock is a typical example of what an affirmative action means. The Biafra struggle seemed to be uh, like for those who goes to church, the Biafra struggle seemed to be like the Bible, where you have the complete version of events and also an encyclopedia that have already put down the footprint based on history and events. So there is always a reference point uh, for every situation as far as we are concerned. Yesterday, we saw the documentary of the 10-year-old who boldly responded to the journalist and telling them his position. And this 10-year-old expressed himself in his own affirmation that he is also fighting for survival as a Biafran. And today we have a lot of 40, 30, 50-year-old men who doesn't even know why they are in IPOB. They don't even know what they have come to do a Biafra struggle and they don't even know what the struggle entails. That is why at every wave or at every point in time, you see them waver and shiver because they don't even understand the reason why they are in Biafra struggle. So it is very, very important that we understand that the Biafra struggle, based on history, have already set the standard for everybody. It has already given us answers to our questions, and I believe that any question you want to ask, you already have answers to them based on history. Let us welcome Mazi JC Ayoyuku. Mazi, you're welcome to the program. Good evening. Mazi, are you there? Okay, while we wait for JCI to sort himself out, I'm giving you the biography of Bruce Merrock, a 20-year-old Jewish student who took an affirmative action in front of the United Nations building in New York to express his disappointment, to express his grievances over the nonchalant attitude of the world towards the unfortunate situation of Biafran people in 1969. And that young man have left his foot in the sand of history as a result of his conviction of what he felt was right to be done. There was any other way he could express himself rather than emulating himself by setting himself ablaze. Quite unfortunate that he couldn't survive that situation. We'll be waiting for Mazi JCI, who will be joining us any moment from now. I hope that he comes on board as soon as possible because this is just a 1 hour program and I hope that we'll be able to round it up soon. Uh, Please, if you are joining us, share this program. Make sure you share, make sure you make it go around. Tag your friends so that others can be part of what we are doing here this evening, morning or night, depending on where you might be. So, we are live on Biafra Television Europe, an exclusive program on the countdown to 30th of May 2025, and the remembrance of our heroes and heroines who put their life on the line in the defense of our homeland and in the defense of Biafran people. So, yesterday, we also did some analysis on the interview that Gowan granted the international media. We saw how our people went through difficulties trying to survive starvation, trying to survive bombardment, trying to survive different kind of human rights violations and violation of their freedom. Yesterday, we did that documentary, which gave an insight to so many people who, in some occasions anyway, have seen that documentary, but they didn't give it the attention that it required. But yesterday gave a more clearer picture of that documentary, and we're able to give interpretations to some of the interviews of Gowan, where he was claiming that the Biafra war was a war that was forced on them. And you begin to ask, who forced the war on you? A war you chose, a war you decided you were going to fight when you renegated the Aburi Accord, because that was what led to the declaration of Biafra. And today we have Gowan, even in his old age, have not ever shown any form of remorse. He continues to lie through his teeth, He continues to cover his crime. He continues to meander and, thinking and believing that he can have his way through lies and propaganda even at his old age. Quite unfortunate, and is questionable for us. In 1967 to 70, we also saw a situation where we didn't have the possibility to tell our story. And that is the reason also that we're going to honor some of our media warriors in those days. We also had, broadcasters on Biafra, on Radio Biafra, who broadcasted during the war. And I can remember vividly a name that is called, and I'm going to do more research on that. His name is Okokundem. I'm going to do more research and I'm going to find a way to see if I can get hold to some of his broadcasts during the war. And if it's possible, we can play them here. Beautiful. Now we have the picture of Bruce Mayrock, a wonderful, fantastic young man who stood for justice. And here is a picture on my left hand side. Bruce Mayrock, a 20-year-old who stood for justice and put his life on the line. And today, it is worth celebrating him. Even in death, it is worth remembering because he made the ultimate sacrifice that anybody can make. We see people who say that our Christian brethren who profess that Christ put their life on the line for their sin. Bruce Mayrock is the Christ that we see. He put his life on the line for Biafran people and he deserves to be remembered. Bruce Mayrock is the Christ that we see who decided to stand up for justice in cause of his own understanding and conviction that there is no other way to draw the attention of the world than sacrificing his own life. While Bruce Mayrock was taking this affirmative action, we saw some Biafrans in Biafra land hiding in the bushes. They refused to go and confront the enemy in war front. And that is what we still have today. During the war, we have a lot of young men who ran away. They run into the bushes. Very early in the morning, they run into the bush. In the night, they return and hide under their wife's wrapper to be protected. Uh, Despite the fact that they had the opportunity to put their own life on the line, they refused to fight the enemy. They refused to participate in that war. And that is the situation we also have today, where you have a lot of Biafran who are supposed to participate in Biafra struggle, but they are hiding, dodging. They don't want to be part of it. But we saw somebody in faraway New York who has no connection whatsoever with the situation on the ground. Just that he saw the news of how Biafran children were suffering and he felt that empathy for our people. The same situation, like I said, that the Biafra struggle, the Biafra story is like an encyclopedia. Everything is complete in that book, in our book of history. Today, you have so many people dodging, running away from the responsibility before them, just like during the war as well. How men were dodging and hiding in the bush, they refused to come out to participate and confront the enemy. Today, we have the same situation. In fact, we also have at that time some even participating and fighting on the side of the oppressor during the war. We also have some Biafrans who were fighting on the enemy side they were fighting on the enemy side against their own people. The same situation we also have today. That many Biafrans are fighting on the enemy side against their own people. That was why I said that the Biafra story is like a complete Bible where you already have everything recorded in history and they continue to repeat itself. And that is the reason we'll continue to come back to tell you our story, because many people are ignorant of the story. Many people do not understand where we are and where we are heading to. And that is why we are here in the media to continue to enlighten our people that there is need for every hand to be on deck, that there is need for everybody to participate in this journey. And I'm also going to tell you how pressure was also mounted on Adimodimegwu Ojukwu to declare Biafra, despite his understanding that if there is any form of declaration, that Nigeria will come for war. And he basically told our people that it would have been nice that we continued on the path of negotiation while we prepare for eventualities. Ojukwu wasn't ready to declare Biafra. It was the pressure of our people. He was also afraid that he would not be termed a saboteur if he doesn't fall in line with that general opinion and the public uh, perception and interest. But he understood the implication of declaring Biafra. And he said, let us wait and see how we can negotiate more with the central government. Because if we declare Biafra, they will come for war and we are not prepared. But our people continue to insist that he has to declare Biafra, that they are ready to defend themselves. We have also seen that happen in this generation, where pressure is being put on the leadership to say take certain actions, to the point that even some people even went ahead to go and declare their own Biafra, simply because they felt that the leadership of IPOB did not declare Biafra for them. And that is what Ojukwu would have faced in 1967 if he had not declared Biafra. There would have been this autopilot mentality where people have to declare the Biafra by themselves. And that was one of the things, the kind of pressure that was put on him that made him didn't have any other option than to go ahead to gather all the entire eastern region for them to make a choice of which name they would like to bear. But Ojukwu understood the implication of that declaration, that if he does that, that Nigeria will come for war. And he understood, as the governor of that eastern region, he knew that the capacity wasn't strong enough to withstand the central government in war. So his plan was to continue negotiating while building up both material and resources for eventual future declaration. So there is a lot we have to learn. And that is why our people need to understand that everything you see the leadership of IPOB do today are things that they have learned from the past. And that is why they are not in a hurry to make any decision based on our past history, because we will not allow history to repeat itself again. So there is a lot of inspiration to be drawn in every facet of our struggle, both in the past and in the present. But unfortunately, because a lot of our people have not been able to take their time to study or understand things that have transpired in the past, they continue to go in that same direction to make mistake of that past. And that is where the leadership comes in, to make sure that the mistake of the past does not repeat itself. That even if it's going to take us another 50 years, but we are going to get it right. Even if we are going to take a longer time, but we are going to get it right this time around. That we are not going to do anything in a hurry. That we are going to secure our food. That we are going to make sure that every necessary instrument is put in place. So Biafrans, I believe I'm communicating, and I want to read out in your comment section, and I want to acknowledge people on the comment section here. Nestor Obiwanne, Nestor Obiwanne, we have Ome Penny, Lucky Okechukwu Biafra, Uchechukwu Moses, Maduforo. I want to welcome you guys to the program. Please keep sharing this program. Keep sharing. Ogechukwu, you're welcome to the program. Ekwuribe Clement Uzoechie, you're welcome to the program. Welcome, guys. Please tag your friends and make sure that every other person who is supposed to listen to us is listening to us. Okija Biafra Man IPOB, you are welcome to the program. Lucky Okechukwu Biafra, you're welcome to the program. Thank you very much. I hope that Mazi JCI joins us. I don't know if he's ready for today's program because I'm also supposed to bring him in to give us some of his thoughts and give us some of his analysis on the topic on the floor. But I would like to open the line at this point in time so we start taking calls. Let me see. Before we take calls, I want to see if I can get Mazi JCI on the phone, so that even if it's going to mean taking a few inputs. Okay. Let me see if I can put a call across to him. Let me see if we can interact with Mazi JCI briefly, because I think that he's having difficulties with his connection. Hello, Mazi JCI. Good evening.
Yes, Master Patrick, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. You're live on BTV Europe. We've been trying to link up with you, but it's like you're having difficulties with your connection.
Sure. Sometimes I come in, I'll be hearing you. I know you couldn't hear me. It's been off and on. For that, my location is pretty poor network-wise.
Okay, quite unfortunate. Okay, now that you are live with us on call, we just analyzed this young, brilliant mind, Bruce Merrock, a 20-year-old Jewish student who immolated himself, set himself ablaze in front of the United Nations building to express his grievances over the onslaught on Biafran people in 1969. Maaze, I know you are familiar with the story of Bruce Merrock, a hero of our time and someone that needs recognition that he deserves. Maaze, can you please, in just few minutes, tell us your thought on the actions of Bruce Merrock in 1969?
Oh, thank you, Mazik. The actions of Bruce Merrock is something that is worthy of emulation for those of us who claim to be agitating Biafra. We need to begin to ask ourselves, how much of self-sacrifice, how much are we willing to give? Are we truly here to give or we're to receive? Are we here because we want to sacrifice for humanity, or we want recognition, or we want to get some sort of aggrandizement? Who's the depth of human sacrifice, humanism? In history, in recorded history, there are about 10 people recorded all over the world who sacrifice for others today. So, and if you categorize all these actions in the whole history of humanity, Bruce Merrock was not mentioned because his story will bring about the story of Biafra, the reminiscence. That is why these people don't talk about him. I've read the story of everybody everywhere in the world who took that part of heroism to die for others. And I discovered there are 4 basic principles that guides this kind of action. So you talk about what is the psychology behind self-sacrifice globally in academics or in any field of human endeavor. Most people who have done these things, there are few things that push them. What are they? National pride. You talk about why people sacrifice for national pride. You talk about patriotism. You talk about religious extremism, what we call zeal. You talk about love and to preserve family heritage. Bruce Merrock was not a Biafran. Maybe he could be of descendant of Biafran. He was a Jew, and we know historically that the original Jews were black. So that's a link. Most people who drop their life for others to live don't do it for nothing. If you are not doing it for love, if you are not doing it because of religion, there must be a genetic connection. So somebody needs to go and check if Bruce Merrock has a Biafran blood in him. It wasn't an accident. Look at the whole scenario about Bruce Merrock death. When they saw fire, they saw him burning. Firefighters ran after him to quench the fire with fire extinguisher. He ran away from them. He deliberately ran away so that they don't stop the fire. And look at what happened, where he fell. He fell in front of that statue. And what was the content of that statue? That statue was quoting a scripture, and those that did that statue was interpreting it that what we used to build bombs, let's use it to affect human life. So everything about Bruce Merrock is so philosophical. It's a story that we can't finish explaining what happened, how he could take such action. So today, Bruce Merrock is still we still need to talk about his death until what he died for. What did he die for? He said they should stop the genocide in Biafra. Has genocide stopped? The answer is no. We must restore Biafra if Bruce Merrock's death must not be a waste. I don't know if I still have the luxury of time to talk more.
Thank you very much. You have already given it a blow as far as I'm concerned. Mazi, today we saw so many people in Biafra struggle, complaining and lamenting. Some are saying that things are not done the way they wish they could be done, that they need action. And how do we make reference to them using Bruce Merrock inspiration to teach them what it means for one to stand and take an affirmative action without going about blaming others? Because it would have been easy for Bruce Merrock to look at the dying young Biafran who are starving and start blaming Ojukwu for not doing things right.
Yes, Mazi. Yes, it's actually pathetic that our people who are asking for actions cannot give the right action. People were asking for action. What kind of action do they get? They want to support somebody who was killing their own people. Bruce Merrock, some people were insulting him as a fool. Why didn't he donate his parts for scientific advancement and all that? Why does he have to go that route? Like you said, he didn't go about blaming Ojukwu. He said, stop the genocide. 9 million Biafrans are dying. Those who are out for action, that could not equate their own action with self-sacrifice. Bruce Merrock's action was a pure humanitarian stuff born out of humanity. To stop the dying, he chose to die so that they could stop the death of children somewhere. Those people asking for action in the past, they supported killings. The killings, thousands who died in Biafra because the zoo wanted to provide an evidence to jam as an Americano. I was discussing that recently with somebody. When they say that the doors are wise, people don't understand. Mazikem, let me put it in a nutshell. Everything about Biafran struggle, now we're talking about celebration because celebration has come. We have won. This victory is not won by one people, one group of people, one family, anybody, one legal team. What is playing out in the court currently as I speak in Abuja is standing on the background laid by the other legal team who are no more in picture. What am I saying? What has happened is a team work. From Bruce Merrock death, from the actions of Ojukwu, dovetailed down to what to have in the contemporary time. All we see is what? Teamwork. Those who say they want action, where have you supported positively the bringing of Biafra? The DOS have done their own bit, even if they've not done enough. It's superregulative. Today, it would have, how will it sound if somebody has come to court, the marksman, and play a video of a voice of someone broadcasting for Radio Biafra that he's part of Mazen Amdekano? How will you defend that? How would the legal team be able to defend that? How would I be able to exonerate Mazen Amdekano with all the crime committed in Biafra land to pin Mazen Amdekano to jail him? That is where everything said and done. The greatest of all that DOS has done, as far as I'm concerned, is coming out now in the courtroom. Some might not say it. That the work of DOS is what helped the legal team right now to prove to the world that Ipob is not a terrorist, Mazen Khan is not a criminal. He mentioned a name. The people testifying. They didn't mention anybody else's name. They didn't mention Kike Dozel. There are many media people out there, many Biafrans making noise all over the world, doing a lot of things. He mentioned only one man who they have contracted, who they have used in so many ways to commit crime, to jail Mazen Amdekano. So you could see that from what you have today, what is playing out in the court now is teamwork. If when they ask the young man, sign this contract, the court followed, he said no. If he had done this, as you are now, you are not. You can invite anybody to studio, Mazen. You can bring anybody as a guest. You can even bring the leader of Al Qaeda as a guest. It's different from a presenter, a broadcaster, as you are, or any other media personality. So, Mazi, for me, I think the sacrifice of Bruce Merrock and to those asking for action, the meeting point, the equilibrium there is teamwork. And it depends on how you go about it. Those who have contributed positively, not negatively, in providing resources to kill their own people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mazi, we have a caller, and I would like to take that call. Then I come back to you, please. I'll be coming back to you. Let me take this call. Yes, so we have a caller. Let's see if we can reconnect back to this caller because it's very, very important that we take some of these calls. He has let's see if he can respond. Let's see if he can respond. Hello, caller. Good evening and welcome to the program. This is Biafra Television Europe. Yes.
My name is Gabriel. I'm calling you from Ipob, Biafra land. Are you hearing me?
Yes, you are welcome to the program, Gabriel.
Welcome, my dear. I'm so delighted to hear from you this evening. Alice, I've been this is my first time calling Radio Biafra. Since we started the program.
Are you listening to us from Radio Biafra or you are listening to us via Biafra television?
I just joined the program on China before I switched off to this team, my WhatsApp. Since you put your number on this team, I start to copy it and contribute my little one.
So which link were you watching? Were you watching us from before you called in? Because
okay, I was watching from BT something.
Okay, BTV, Biafra Television Europe. You're welcome.
Yes.
Go ahead and make your contribution.
Concerning the 30th May, at least I will throw a light into my people because it's something that we have been suffering for, and the Nigeria country don't want us to go. So due to hello.
Go ahead. The world is listening. The whole world is listening to you.
Hello, can you hear me?
The whole world is listening to you. Go ahead, Gabriel. Yes. Gabriel,
I can hear you. maybe let me
Can you hear me? Gabriel, can you hear me? Yes, Gabriel, we can hear you. Go ahead. Okay, that was Gabriel from Iguacha. Unfortunately, I think it's a question of network. It's a question of network problem. I don't know if he's going to call back, but we encourage more people to call into the program to tell us their views on the actions of Bruce Merrock and his gesture in expressing himself to the world, to expressing his dismay to what was happening during the war and the onslaught against the Biafran people. Bruce Merrock, like I said, was a 20-year-old young man, a student, and he didn't go about blaming anybody. He didn't go about lamenting like many are lamenting today, complaining and crying all over the place that the things are not done, that things are stagnant for them, and stuffs like that. And it gives me some sort of reflection on the attitude of our people. Yesterday we saw the documentary and we saw how our people were highly motivated in the middle of the war. In the middle of the war, where people were being massacred, bombs were dropping, but our people were enthusiastic. They were able to use the innermost force that they have to even produce equipment, homemade, to be able to stand against the enemy. Nobody was complaining. Rather, people were making their contributions in different ways. But today, we see people on social media complaining, talking, criticizing, asking questions, trying to frustrate those who are working. So we have to draw inspiration. Hello, Mazi. Yes. So let me see because can you hear me? Okay. So like where we received a caller from Iguacha, but unfortunately he left because of network issues, I believe. So where we stopped earlier talking about Bruce Merrock, and I talked about how the attitude of our people today, where you have many people complaining, some are saying that the struggle is stagnant because by now Biafra is supposed to have come, that the DOS are not getting it right, that DOS are not doing, and you start to question. Yesterday we ran a documentary here in this channel where we saw how our people were enthusiastic. We even saw a 10-year-old with high morale responding to journalists and telling them how he's fighting for his freedom. He was convinced. A 10-year-old, an underage little boy, understood what the time was. But today, you have 40-year-old men. Akwa ha aka agbaga n'aka nri, akwa ha n'aka ekpe agbaga n'aka ekpe. They don't have a direction in the struggle for Biafra restoration. At every wave that sweep, you see them swept by the side. A na-akọ eri, na-asọkwu asọkwu. Maazị, what has happened? Do we say that the older generation had a more stronger character than this recent generation?
Certainly, yes. My response to being that affirmative. This generation is a product of so many factors. Mazi, can I take you back?
Go ahead.
The strongest willed people of Biafran stock, more than 75% died in the war. What we have today are just this multitude of the little 20-25% that survive. The rest are from this generation of cowards, generation of people who didn't go to war, were so afraid. Their parents didn't go to war. Their father was hiding somewhere. He didn't fight. The brave ones, the generation of the 10 years you saw are few, and they are the Mazena Bekando generation. You come to Biafra land, sorry to tell you that the people, everybody you see in Biafra one land, the real stock, the real generation that supported Ojuku, the real generation that is ready to die, the Mazena Bekando generation, in Ipob, in Biafra agitation, in Igbo land, in Biafra land, in Iban, in Efik, and anywhere you call Biafran space, they are less than 15%. That is why you see that Fulani controls them. Anybody control them. Anybody can dictate for them. They choose governor for them. No say. They choose everything for them. They buy them. Any little thing they can easily be bought. Do you know that over 50% of IPOB followed a young man that have never registered? He has no receipt. But it beats my imagination. Man, I say, do you know that it's not only the learned that followed him, but the educated followed him? I had a fight with a professor.
Even some coordinators.
Some national coordinators, sir, there are some national coordinators I sacked in West Africa that they were contributing money and they were sending to people who wanted. Yes, national coordinators. National coordinators will go on air and tell their members that they are confused. A national coordinator. Mazi, one of the greatest shockers I had in this struggle was there's a man I held to a high esteem, educated man, exposed and learned, well-to-do. He lives close to me in Lekki. I go to his house, he comes to my place. One day, this man came to me and told me face to face. He said, listen up. He said that he had Mazina Mekano voice and follow him. He had XYZ voice too and follow him. Until Mazina Mekano comes out and tell him he didn't send XYZ, that there's nothing I will tell him. That should not waste my time. I was so shocked. I could not understand why this is happening. That is to show you what we're made of. The generation we are, the kind of people we have. The whole pose of the mass. People who can go, all they want is self-interest. No self-sacrifice. There's not in the dictionary. Equal has a will I kill myself for you? This is how you know them. They're not people who are ready to put down their life. Look at how Mazina Bikano dropped his life. Greatest sacrifice will any man make that he laid down his life for his friends. That's what Mazina Bikano has done. That's what Mandela did for South Africans to be free. That's what so many people have done in China. Today, we're having the realization. Somebody dropped their life. I was reading the history of people who made sacrifices. I read about the Russians. And when I read all these names one by one, in America, the John Robert Fox of this world, the Vanderbilt of this world, the gold medal. When you look at all these people, they make a sacrifice. That's why they have the society they have today. Trump is telling everybody, go home. Go and face your government. Go and make your own sacrifice. The French made sacrifice through revolution. America made sacrifice through the Civil War. Every other civilization has made sacrifice to be something. The Burkina Babes are making sacrifice today for them to be great. Until we're ready to kill the back of Mazina Mekane and make sacrifice and we spend more time pulling people down than we encourage people. Mazi, do you know that in this struggle, you will give somebody office, he will not work. He will tell you he doesn't have money to buy data. The day you remove him from office, he will be having data every day to call people to discourage them. That's the generation we have. And I was happy that somebody came pretending that he's looking for Biafra and they draw a line to separate the chaff from the wheat. All the people that failed and they blow, you know, when you blow breeze, all the ones that have no weight, they always fall off. Those are the people that fail. Now they're coming back, no problem. But we know who they are, like the content of their character. And what have they done? It's just very simple theory you have in football and in spectatorship. The spectators are always better than the player. I would have scored that goal. That player is an idiot. I would have done this. That's what our people are good at doing. From morning to night. And when you say, what have you done? Do you know that the platform I belong to, called lecture room, somebody came there and was insulting everybody. He go talk all the talk with this one. Do 15 voice notes. I went to call his national coordinator. He has not paid monthly due for over 2 years. For over 2 years. But they will come to social media, they're social media specialists. What have they done? Nothing. Nothing. Money they don't support. Encourage people, they don't encourage people. Their time they can't spend for the struggle. A lot of people have lost everything for this struggle, lost their way of life, lost their business network, lost leisure. Some of us have not gone home in many years.
Many have even abandoned their career.
Yes. Some have run into hiding just for Biafra to come. Today you say they have done nothing. I don't believe they've done nothing, Mazi. I have a mindset. I have a decided way of life. I don't follow crowd. Certain things I've been saying them since 3 years ago. I've not changed. Consistency is important for me as a person. It's not about what you get or where we go. Where we go tomorrow morning is inconsequential. For those of us who know where we're going, those of us who are genuine, there is no way. At the end of the day, the balance, everything settles down. The real ones will still stand because light will stand forever. Mazi Kanu did not fail because he stood on the path of the truth. Anybody in the struggle, following the right path, doing the right thing, sacrificing like Murok, like Mazi Kanu,
yes.
and yes. So anybody that have that kind of lifestyle, Mazi, they will see the end of the day and the celebration will be their portion. Just a month ago, I said I saw my king ascend the throne. That's what I saw in a revelation. The very first day this case started, I saw that that they were setting table for our celebration, and I tweeted it. People were yapping. I said, I've told you, I've just related to the world what I saw. I'm not saying it to impress anybody. What am I saying? The work DOS has done, I can tell you for free. I'm not speaking to favor anybody. I'm not going to speak to make anybody happy. I always say harsh things. Many people don't like me because I say the truth the way it comes. The work DOS has done, 100% of these people having rubbish cannot do 20% of it. It took wisdom and strategy to keep this family to what it is today. I don't need anybody to like me. Mazi Kanu is alive today, breathing, is the hand of God. And number two, because they were not able to destroy IPOB. Had IPOB been destroyed, they would have killed our leader. Who will challenge them? Is it even politicians that want him dead? That do not even want him to come out? Who would have challenged them? Who will coordinate? It's
a very big question. If IPOB had collapsed, who would have challenged
them?
Yes.
Who will challenge them? Everything they have done is to make sure they collapse IPOB, and they did it. And as I can tell you, in another 100 years, they will not be able. Why? IPOB is built on truth. IPOB is not built on personality. That's what people don't know. IPOB is a structure. That in IPOB, different people have independent mind. There are people that know that all they care is about Onyendu and the truth. Mazi, do you know that more than 70% of people who went astray following Woto went there because they thought they were fighting for Biafra? I tell you for free. Majority of the people who went astray, who had followed Epa because they thought Epa was fighting for Biafra to come.
Mazi, some even went ahead to follow the emotional voice of Nelly of Webu. when she was
Yes.
shouting, and you know that emotional. The very first day I heard that voice, in the emotional way, calling the name of Elohim, Elohim. You know, because they understood how emotional our people are. And these are some of the topics
How
I'll be
gullible we
bringing.
are.
Yes, these are some of the topics I'll be bringing in because of this. Because when you look at the documentary that we saw yesterday, our people during the war didn't show any form of emotion.
At all.
People were convinced on the realities of what they have at hand. They didn't allow emotion to guide them. But today, you have men and women filled with emotion that if somebody still come out tomorrow and shout Elohim, they will run after that person.
That's it. It's not wrong to be emotional, no. But it's wrong not to have control over your emotions. Yes, everybody has that natural instinct to be emotional, but not the kind of cheap, foolish emotion our people have. This on the school emotion. Anything we're told, we'll follow. We don't ask questions. That's what to say, what to condemn. All of us, everybody's emotional. If you don't have emotions, you won't do what we're doing. Yes, we have some emotion. That's what we feel for our brother. But also revolves around that Igbo, what do you call it, brotherhood or communalism, which is indigenous to us as a people. How do we help our brother? That's what Bruce Merrick. Then I went to do some small investigation about this young man, Bruce Merrick, and I began to see where he came from. Bruce Merrick came from a philosophical standpoint. Merrick didn't make, it wasn't an accident. It was a well planned. Look at this what's it called? The poster he was carrying, the write-ups, everything he did was deliberate. Bruce Merrick believed that if he paid his life, that the killings would stop in Biafra. But the heartless, these Western vultures refused. Although he pointed the attention that genocide was going on in Biafra and they changed style. That's why they now told BBC. BBC stopped reporting what was going on in Biafra. They only stopped reportage. They didn't stop the art. So everything Bruce Merrick did, he did it out of how can I help humanity? How can my people be dying? Somebody go and find out. Go and check his genealogy. Bruce Merrick is a Biafra. That's my own. That's the way I put it. That's my understanding of what happened.
He's
But
even
what
more
drove him into that?
even more Biafran than some Biafrans.
Yes, you're correct. And that is why in Biafra, maybe our national the upper chamber will be called Bruce Merrick Chamber. Because forever we cannot forget him. Forever. Young men will be
like
taught
Bruce,
the virtues of
people
Bruce
like
Merrick.
Bruce Merrick image is supposed to be in the Biafra currency.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And the man they want to carry out on a research. There's something they do in some of the religions in Asia. Because in Biafra, we're going to, Mazina the Khan will be venerated. I've said it before, that we are going to, deify Mazina the Khan even when he's alive. All the people they worship in Asia, what did they do? They brought enlightenment to their people. And that's what Mazina the Khan has done. We're going to teach in Taoism. If you go to the Chinese society, why you see that people are well behaved, they follow certain theories, certain ways of life. People like Bruce Merrick, we're going to study their life, their self-sacrifice. We're going to amplify what he has done. It's going to be virtues that young people need to imbibe. If a young Biafran, Bruce Merrick died at the age of 20, was born in 1949, and he died in 1969.
Yes.
Just 20 days. On the day of that he died. He burned himself on the 29th. 9 hours later, in the midnight, he died. Precisely on the 30th. Early hours on the 30th May 1969, Bruce Merrick died, gave up the ghost. He died that children will stop dying. Bruce Merrick died that so that we can die to self. These are the things you write in the Bible. All the Jesus stories is all they pick from the ancient Kemet in their spirituality that is interpreted. Because if you look at the character of Jesus, you begin to ask yourself, how can a woman that is a Jewish man bear an English name? Joseph is an English name. It's not a Jewish name. Mary is not a Jewish name. So the mother, the father bear English name. All the disciples bear English name. All the Jesus' brother. Don't about that story. The Catholic Church cook and give us, but we don't reason, we don't think. Any nonsense give to us, we swallow, drink water, and say thank you. If you look at someone like Bruce Melk, his way of life, he self-sacrificed. He took, see, I just discovered that I did a little research. I found out that Bruce Melk had been writing to American president about Biafra. He wrote series of letters to the president. They should do something. That people are dying in Biafra. That genocide is going on. They are killing children in Biafra. Britain is committing genocide in Biafra. American president said nothing. He refused to act because America was supporting the war indirectly. So it's when he wrote and wrote, complained and complained, nobody gave him attention. The day he died, he planned it. There was crowd. He did it in the presence of people. So that the story will not go unnoticed. The placard they carried, he set himself ablaze. He didn't burn the write-up. Have you asked why? The write-up he was carrying, when he soaked himself into that inflammable acid, liquid, before he ignited the fire, he kept the write-up beside where everybody could see it. And what does the write-up say? So to show you that every action he took was planned. He said peace is where there is an absence of fear of any kind. Hero, he paid as a hero. And he's one of the greatest heroes that I've ever lived. I'm going to visit his grave.
And that is why I said that he is our own Christ, the one that we know. Because that is synonymous with the sacrifice of giving himself.
Correctly.
Yes.
Correctly. He died that our children should stop dying. Mazi Bruce Merrick had not died. Probably people like us, our parents would have been killed. Some of us that our own parents survived. Because Bruce Merrick died to call the attention of the world of the genocide, and America began to beg British to reduce it, to take it easy. Because now the story has gotten everywhere and people have started agitating. For a young man to set himself ablaze and say, stop the genocide, stop the killing. He wrote, he said, save the 9 million Biafrans. And what did he do? He ran to that statue. And he fell at the foot of that statue. That's where he fell.
Mazi, what amazes me is his age. At 20, that speaks a lot of the kind of bravery at 20, where you have young people in their 80s chasing shadows, chasing clouds, today on social media, doing all sorts of rubbish, But Bruce Merrick at the age of 20, how did he come about this type of experience? I'm still trying to figure it out.
I've been able to unact. I've been able to understand part of why he did what he did. It was, like I told you, it came from a philosophical standpoint. It was an idealist. In philosophy, and those of us who are humanists, there is something in you that goes off each time you see innocent people die. I've said it before. Those who know me will tell you. I hate to see people die. Me as a person, personally.
Yeah, Mazi, do you know that for me, 20 is too tender to have been able to build that. Have been able to build.
No, look at his academic. Mazi, go and look at his academic history. Go and check. He was well read, even at that 20 already. Even at 20, been to universities. 2 years ago, the last year, 2 years ago, I was admitted to come and study indigenous people's history in Columbia University. That's where he went to. And that university today studies indigenous people history. I don't know why. Columbia University in New York is an exceptional. So it's one of those Ivy colleges you can't beat anywhere in the United States. So, Brasmurok sacrifice will not to go in vain. There must be what we call postmortem's special award for him, because his heroism is one of a kind. Dying for people you don't know. He has never been to Biafra. He never knew what Biafrans look like that much. But he must have read our history as the black Jews. So something in him, in his DNA, that thing in him, that thing that makes people drown themselves in savannah in the United States, that choose to die than to be slavery. That thing that made them revoke in the independence. All the Ipob that went there revolted. There was something in him. He felt, I need to save my life. They're killing a particular race that I'm connected to. I need to do something. He planned it. When I was trying to analyze the write-ups. Mazi, have you sat down to look at the write-up, everything he wrote? The script. Then look at the importance of what he wrote. Attach it to what has happened. Look at where the location. So when you put all that together, what does it tell you? It tells you that there are special species Elohim created. There are people like that don't come every year. They come once in a century. People like Mazen and Kano, people who don't care about their own self. They care about their people. How many of such people do we have around? How many of Ibrahim Traore do you have in this generation? That's when I look at America. America is not bothered about a dead man that is disguising to be president in Cameroon. It doesn't give the neo-colonialists, the thieves, it doesn't give them any problem. That somebody has been in power for over 40 years. He has nothing to offer. All the brain dead ruling Africa. Tinubu is brain dead. The one in Uganda, Museveni, what is it called? And I said that it's only his son that is qualified. Is brain dead. The West are not bothered about such people. The West are bothered about Mazen becoming enlightening people, and they come up to kidnap him. Imagine American CIA involvement. Imagine British intelligence, MI5 involvement. Imagine all of these come together. The French, all of them had hand in kidnapping one man. What does that tell you? They hate success. They hate to see a black man progress. Where can we get more Bruce Morris, Bruce Merrick,
Yes.
who want black to succeed? Where can we get them? Where can we get more people who care about our kin and kind, about our race, outside Mazen and Kano, outside Ibrahim Traore? I want to challenge the next generation. If you're a Biafran, ask yourself, what have I done for my nation? I have done a lot. I won't talk about them now. At the right time, I will talk. For security reasons, that is, I will say now. You that is out there, what have you done for your people to be free? That's my question for you this night. Man, did you know there are many of us making noise about the Biafra agitation that we can't donate 1 point of blood to save a life? There are many of us who are so selfish, we're so self-centered, we so think about I, myself, me alone, that we can't donate 1 pint of blood to save a life. But Mazen the Kanu went somewhere. He abandoned food, abandoned pleasure, abandoned everything, abandoned anything you can think about this world, abandoned throne for his people to be free. Then somebody was dancing every day. Once he received a lot, he started dancing, started cooking champagne. If you know how that stuff infuriates me back in the days, somebody will tell me that this person is acting for his people's freedom. This person that is drinking champagne, dancing every day. Every day will dance at Willow inside his studio room, and somebody is crying in this custody. Have you donated blood for somebody else before? You that claim to be an agitator, can you donate blood? Can you sacrifice food for the whole day? Have you fasted before for people to be free? You're a pastor, you're a bishop. You can fast for other nations. You can fast for other people. Have you ever taken up time to fast, to deprive yourself free? Say, God, free Mazen American. God, set my people free. Have you ever done that? Because Merok is there for anybody. Let go and look at yourself. Look at him as a mirror. Go and look at yourself on the Bruce Merok mirror. Am I of self? Am I of the people? Do I think of myself more, or do I think of my people? I can go on and on. Ask a question.
Yes, Mazi, thank you very much. We have exceeded the 1 hour time for the program, and I think we've been able to do some justice. And we'll be coming back on Thursday because tomorrow there's going to be another program on Radio Biafra for coordinators. So we won't be coming tomorrow, we'll be coming on Thursday. And Thursday, I will be pointing at some of the broadcasters who, broadcasted on Radio Biafra during the war. I'm going to do more research on that. The likes of Oko Kondem. These were men
Yes,
who,
cook them.
yes, these were men who used the media to propagate and express the gospel of Biafra during the war, trying to communicate to the world. Because we are in the media, so we have a responsibility to also remember our heroes who were in the media. Because a day will come when we will no longer be here, and we hope that those who will come before will also remember our contribution
Us.
in the media. On that note, I would want to come to the end of the program, and I want to say thank you very much, Mazi JCI Oyuku, for your time. I want to say thank you, Biafrans all over the world, for your patience and your time. And until I see you again, this is BTV Europe exclusive countdown for 30th May 2025, Heroes and Heroines Remembrance Day. And I want to say thank you very much for sharing and tagging your friends and making sure that everybody hook up to this network and platform to listen to our message today. I'm so glad that we had callers from all over, especially from Biafra land, because they are the major audience that we are communicating to. I will believe that on the 30th of May, they will be sitting at home in honor of our heroes and heroines. Until I come your way again, my name remains Mazi Ikem Patrick DK. Have a wonderful evening, morning, and night, wherever you are, and God bless you all.
They will mass.